Good afternoon. I've got a fairly tightly scripted program here, but as one aside before I do that, you can imagine how much fun it is for me to follow the previous four speakers, including Michael Crow. So if you would all do a great job of lowering your expectations, I'll do my best to crawl over what I hope is a much lower bar than you've heard so far. Well, on behalf of John Meitman, Mike Brewer, and the rest of our coalition, I want to say thanks for attending our luncheon on Preparing for Arizona's Education Future. I hope you found this afternoon to be as informative and inspiring as I have. First, I also want to thank a few individuals who made today possible. Our hostess for today's event, Anita Helt, and would you stand, Anita? Vice President, General Manager of ABC 15, your facility's been perfect. I want to thank your whole staff for being so accommodating. I'm afraid we did a bait and switch on her. We told her that 85 would be nice, then we had to have 100, and she groaned a little bit. And when we first began discussing today's event, we were trying to do 100. Too many legislators responded yes, and so at least for the capacity, and she accommodated our 100 and many, many more. I'd like to thank Ray Shea and Haley Metcalf from the Business Journal. They did a lot of logistics for today. They did pre-promotion, and you'll see follow-up articles in the Phoenix Business Journal over the next several weeks. I can say here it's clear data, the most read newspaper by the Arizona legislature is the Phoenix Business Journal, so this is a great way to communicate with them. And last, Hickman's Family Farms. 2 years ago, they reached out to us, said they had a lot of educators in their family and they wanted to help support the effort of enhancing education and teacher pay for every student and every teacher in the state of Arizona. So what we've been able to do is a direct result of their support. Well, John and Mike and I started planning this event 6 months ago. We would never have imagined that we'd be holding it on the heels of an announcement by Chairman of the Senate Education Committee, Sylvia Allen, that she wanted to send a $1 billion constitutional amendment to the ballot in 2020. We would not have imagined that we'd be talking about $800 million plus for the Classroom Site Fund, $250 million to support the cost of in-state tuition for in-state kids, not foreign students or out-of-state, in-state kids, making college more affordable, and workforce development, $50 million delivered by way of the community college system. I'd like one more time, she's had several, let's give Sylvia Allen a round of applause. I know basically all she did is lead and give us a concrete proposal to rally around. Who knew that could happen? Toward that end, I also want to thank Karen Fan for standing up today and saying that she would support a penny for the entire education system. And to President Crow, I travel across the country some in meetings for the public business boards I serve on. When people hear him from Arizona, the subject of Arizona State usually comes up. Transformational work here is well known. And basically, Arizona state and other states is discussed and admired. Thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for participating today and in listening and hearing more about a consistent theme, the importance of investing in in-state tuition for our students. Lennar Home talked about investment in workforce. Now, I think Mike Brewer, who runs the biggest plumbing company in the state, would say if up here, he could hire 60 people today to make $60,000 a year if he could find them. And they would buy homes and they would pay taxes and they would do a whole lot of good things. So 2 employers, 2, and there's thousands, have hundreds of jobs they'd fill today if they could. So we need to get back on that bandwagon, and the community colleges are infrastructure and delivery system already in place. We've had Representative Udall sing the national anthem. We've had Superintendent Hoffman lead the Pledge of Allegiance. This room is full of education advocates. That happens a lot. I've been around a lot of visions, and they're all good. Today, we have a concrete roadmap to follow to support a penny for Arizona's future we haven't had very many concrete proposals of what we should do, and to Senator Allen and Senator Fan, we were very grateful. Today, my ask is simple. If you're an educator and education advocate, respond to President Fan's request and let your voice be heard. If you're from the business community, go back to the organizations, I call them the initial organizations, to which you belong, and work with them and let them know that their endorsements are very, very important. We need to get this through the legislature, certified by the Secretary of State, and on the ballot in 2020. If you're a legislator, join Senator Fan and others by co-sponsoring Senator Allen's legislation and get both of the constitutional amendment and the statutory language through the legislature this year. I'd like to be back here about a year from now, and the topic is going to be how we're going to get this passed through the ballot box. Thank you for everyone who made today possible, the speakers, hosts, sponsors, and Senator Allen especially for stepping up, standing out, and putting a concrete proposal on the table. We look forward to seeing you at the legislature as we support Senator Allen. Go spread the word. Thank you. We are adjourned.